Themistode, FightHype.com. Here with Andre Rozier, one of the best trainers in the world. How you feeling today?
What a deal, what a deal, what a deal, nephew. What an explosive weekend.
Let's jump right into it, man. Heading into Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, how did you think it was going to play out?
Well, honestly, nowhere near how it actually did play out. I thought Devin was going to box his way to a victory. As we did discuss before, I said if it was a knockout, it would be Ryan knocking out Devin. It didn't even play out that way, but it seemed like it was going in that direction. We had 3 knockdowns. A couple of times I didn't think Devin was going to make it, but his fortitude and his true grit made him get up and hold his ground, and he went 12 rounds.
What do you think about how things played out? Like, were you surprised? Everybody knows if I'm going to fight Ryan, if you're going to fight Ryan, if whoever's going to fight Ryan, that left hook is coming. So it's not the fact that he landed it, because I think eventually he was going to land it, but were you surprised that he landed it so quickly in the first minute of the fight?
I wasn't surprised. What I was more surprised about was Devin wasn't prepared to counter it. I was telling one of my athletes he should have been watching Bernard Hopkins versus Felix Trinidad. Bernard was ready for Felix's left hook. It vaunted one of the best left hooks in history. And he shut it down. Why? Because he kept that right hand poised. He had it locked, so he blocked it each and every time, or he rolled it. I don't know why they weren't prepared for that, but that was one of the shortcomings.
Do you think the fight should have been stopped a little sooner? And since it didn't, do you also think that Devin might have took too much damage?
Well, I mean, he's a world champion. You got to give him a chance to be what he is. He has to defend his title, and that's what he was doing. He was trying his best to do it. So I don't think it should have been stopped per se. He was shook up a few times, but he got back up and he kept fighting. So all the respect in the world to Devin.
Do you think he'll end up being the same fighter, not just because of like 3 knockdowns and a bunch of times he got hurt, but also because he lost his oath. He lost his oath. So, I guess that aura of invincibility is no longer there. Like, you think he'll be able to bounce back?
Well, I mean, Ryan bounced back. It is what it is in boxing. You go in there and you try your best, and may the outcome be as favorable as you want it to be, but if it's not, you have to dust off the seat of your pants and get back to work.
I asked a bunch of people, there's a bunch of fighters, promoters, a bunch of guys this question. So, do you think it'll be difficult for... Ryan came in at 143.2 pounds, so the belt wasn't on the line, so Devin still is the champion. But do you think it'll be somewhat hard for him to look himself in the mirror and say, I am a champion, even though I just lost?
He still has the belt. Even if he felt that way, he can look across the room and catch a glimpse of his belt on his desk or in the trophy cabinet and say, I'm still the champion. I have to make some better changes in my boxing and really get down to the brass nuts of tightening up, not making mistakes, and it's a lesson learned.
Where do you think he goes from here?
I think he's going to have to definitely fight one of his mandatories. So as somebody in the WBC is climbing that ladder to meet him, and he has to be prepared for that.
Does a rematch right now make sense?
Honestly, it looks like Ryan wants to go to 147. Said can't make 140, so why have a rematch? I don't think it'll bode well for Devin to try to move up and catch him in weight. He looks so much bigger than Devin, it wasn't even funny.
I know that you've always thought extremely highly of Devin, and I know that you still do, but you also, before the fight, you had him ranked number 1 at 140 pounds. Do you still have him ranked number 1, or you have him maybe 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, he's still a world champion. I'm gonna rock with him This wasn't even a title contention fight to begin with. So I'm going to say he's still at number one till he meets someone at 140 and they fight for those championships.
How much exactly did those 3.2 pounds play a factor in your opinion?
Pivotal. It wasn't just the 3 pounds, though. You're missing the point, nephew. He was not going to make weight. He didn't have to sacrifice or suffer getting down to the weight. So he was truly comfortable where he was at. And what did he do? He got even bigger after that. Fantastic ploy, by the way. Great maneuvering, great strategy. He didn't care about the title. He just wanted to win the fight.
Do you look at Ryan's win with any type of... Does it have any type of smudge next to it, an asterisk in your view?
Well, of course, because it was supposed to be for the belt. And he didn't make weight. One man did and one man didn't. So, of course, there's a shade to it.
Let me ask you this about Ryan. He did say that he didn't really want a rematch, but money talks, so who knows down the line. But if he was to get a rematch with Gervonta Davis, and he was just calling him out today, a few minutes ago on Twitter actually, saying he wants to run it back as long as he beats Frank Martin. Do you think things would be differently if there's no rehydration clause and if they fought at maybe 141 pounds, maybe?
Well, honestly, I don't think in any way, form, or sound that Ryan is going to be able to beat Tank. I just don't. It's one of those things like, Tank, that's my dude. That's nephew right there. And I don't think that's happening.
Ryan also was just like, he'll move up to 47. He said, hey, Jaron boots Ennis, we can run it. Do you think Devin is biting off? I mean, not Devin. Do you think Ryan is biting off a little more than he could chew? Or is that a fight you think you'd like to see and would be competitive?
Oh, listen, I would love to see that fight. How competitive it might be, I'm just not sure. I have Boots as a future all-timer, super special athlete. And Ryan, even though he did a fantastic job in this fight, he would have to really bone up his training, get serious, because this is not Devin Haney. This young man punches with both hands. His hands are fast as lightning, and he's all of that and some.
So what do you think could be next for Devin, for Ryan Garcia? What do you think?
Well, 47 is a tough weight class. It's a tough weight class. You got
Well, actually, I just remembered, I think it was yesterday, he said that an Errol Spence fight made a lot of sense. Does it make sense to you, even though Spence is at 54? But Ryan said he'd move up to 54 to fight with Pandora. So do you think a fight between Ryan Garcia and Errol Spence could happen?
Of course it could happen. I mean, Errol, now don't get me wrong, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. Mm-hmm. And don't fool around with Errol. Mm-hmm. Don't just sleep. Listen, he fought one of the best fighters on this planet. That's his only loss. So don't get it twisted that man can't come back in the ring, and if he's 100%, look out. Errol's a bad boy.
Is that a competitive fight? And who would you give the edge to in that one?
I would honestly have to say I would have to give the edge to the experience. And the experience is a guy who has been world champion.
Is it competitive though?
Of course, these are young men. They're 26 years old, and they're full of vigor. They're full of energy, and yeah, they're gonna come for it. But experience is a brutal teacher at times.
For sure. I have to also get your opinion on Shakur Stevenson. He was saying even before the Devin fight, he was hoping that Ryan would fight him next. Now that Ryan did win, he was kind of pushing the envelope, asking Ryan to keep his word. Ryan is obviously bigger than Shakur as well. They fought at maybe 140 pounds. Who could you see taking the edge in that one?
Well, once again, it comes back to the numbers. Ryan specifically stated that he's not going back to 140. He's going up. So, with that being said, I don't want to speculate about Shakur moving up. He's at 35, have to move up to 40 and then move up to 44 or whatever it might be, this catch weight thing that once again coming into play. I say, if you're going to 47, go to 47. Do what you have to do. There's plenty of work there. Don't worry about guys at 35 unless they're moving to 47, and make it happen the way it's supposed to happen. Fight in your weight class. I don't want to hear about the catch weight, the miss weight, the this weight, the that weight. Let's go. Get it right. You're 47 pounds, fight at 47. You're 40 pounds, fight at 40. 35, fight at 35.
Gotcha. And just my last question. I mean, you know how it is with fighters when they're undefeated, they're on top of the world, they think they can't be touched. Later, they can't be touched, they think they're unbeatable. Like, as a trainer, when you've had a fighter that was undefeated and they took their first loss, do you step in and try to give them some words of encouragement, or do you give them like breathing room so they can like kind of mentally get over it?
Well, losing for the first time, it could be traumatic. It could be. And it could be ego spearing, like it could take the wind out of you. What I do is I give a few words of encouragement, and they're going to have to experience this situation anyway. So you give them time to absorb the fact that I'm no longer undefeated, but that never stopped anybody from being special. So it's okay.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dre. Appreciate you, man.
Without a doubt. Sergey, the technician, Dervinchenko, did his thing. And for that guy that said he was a journeyman, he fought 4 world champions. Give that man his respect. I don't want to hear that anymore.
Gotcha. Anybody you want next for him in particular?
Actually, I really want to get him back to 160. And the floodgates are open there.
Gotcha.
We'll take anybody at 160.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dre. Appreciate you, man.
You're very welcome. Havoc in the house.